The Trainman was the first architect is one of our most popular videos. In it, we discussed the theory that the Trainman was the first architect who was replaced, but who managed to escape from being deleted. Surprisingly, the Matrix Resurrections left several clues that suggest that this theory could be true, and that the Trainman's story could continue in the next Matrix movie. Therefore, in this video, we will be discussing the Trainman is an architect theory again, and what could the future hold for this character. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
The theory that there may have been another architect before the architect from the original trilogy comes from the fact that there have been multiple versions of the Matrix. Let me explain. The architect created 6 primary versions of the Matrix, and multiple failed versions, known as the beta matrices. In the Matrix, programs that can no longer serve their purpose are replaced, and the purpose of the architect, as well as the analyst, was to create realistic simulations to keep humans under control. The analyst replaced the architect, so maybe the architect replaced someone else. That's what this theory proposes. After Neo used his powers in the real world, he fell into a coma, and his consciousness ended up in a world between worlds, Mobile Ave, a simulation separated from the Matrix, created by the ominous Trainman, one of the Merovingian's exiled programs. We don't know the version of the Matrix the Trainman comes from, but we do know that he was present during the 5th simulation. In Enter the Matrix, he reveals that Zion only lasted 72 hours before being destroyed the last time it was destroyed, referring to the machine's attack on the city.
72 hours. 72 hours.
What did you just say?
That's exactly how long Zion lasted last time.
What do you mean and who are you?
Me? Nobody. Just a spectator enjoying the ride.
Mobile Ave is a backdoor to the Matrix, and it's located between the Matrix and the real world, most likely connected to the machine city. Neo was trapped in Mobile Ave. His consciousness was separated from his body, and he was left powerless in this strange place, where the Trainman is God.
Down here, I'm God.
The Trainman's power in Mobile Ave is absolute. He, like all other programs, are limited to the programming rules of the Matrix simulation, but the Trainman can do whatever he wants in Mobile Ave. The fact that Neo's powers did not work in Mobile Ave proves that the Trainman programmed that simulation with a different code than the Matrix. The anomaly is a byproduct of the architect's simulation, so it shares its programming language with the Matrix. The anomaly can hack the Matrix code because it came from it, but Mobile Ave was built by someone else with an entirely different code, and so the anomaly, as in Neo, has no power in it. This was the clue that led us to believe that the Trainman was an architect of simulations. His creations used a different coding language that gave him complete control. No other program or human can escape Mobile Ave unless the Trainman allows it. We know that there are other code languages additional to the Matrix because we saw that Seraph and the Oracle's codes were golden, not green, which means that their codes go beyond the normal Matrix. The Merovingian, for his part, is very powerful and can modify the Matrix code.
I wrote it myself.
The Merovingian, with his power to modify codes, and the Trainman, with his ability to create simulations, makes them both architect-type programs who may have been replaced by other programs, those other programs possibly being the Architect and the Oracle. An important point about this theory is that the exiles retain their abilities. For example, Seraph was an agent from the Paradise Matrix. He now protects the Oracle. The exiles were programs replaced by better programs, and so they had no choice but to hide in the Matrix to avoid being deleted. Now then, what clues are there in the Matrix Resurrections that point to the Trainman being the architect? Although the Trainman does not appear in the Matrix 4, the Merovingian does appear, dressed the same as the Trainman. It is also mentioned that the Merovingian and his people use low-frequency signals to enter the Matrix. Low-frequency signals could be interpreted as small portals towards small hidden simulations, like Mobile Ave. So maybe there are other Mobile Ave-like simulations in the Matrix. The Merovingian dressed in rags hints that the Trainman may have been someone important from a previous simulation, that went through what the Merovingian is currently going through. Now, we believe that the machine's civil war holds another key to this theory. The Matrix cycle consists of the path of the One. Neo had to become the One and face the Merovingian because he had the Keymaker. Neo needed the Keymaker to meet the Architect and move forward. Let's say that the Architect allowed the Merovingian to exist in the simulation to serve a purpose in the established Matrix loop. The Frenchman was there to play a part in the Architect's plans, even though the Merovingian didn't know it. After the Civil War happened and the Analyst took control of the Matrix, the Merovingian had to run and hide from the new Architect's control in a small place outside the simulation. So the Merovingian may have indeed been serving a purpose in the Architect's plans in the original films. He only thought that he had control over his actions. The Architect gave him a false sense of independence. That's why the Frenchman felt that he had power and influence. He owned hotels, restaurants, clubs, and a wife. It wasn't until the Analyst came around that the Merovingian lost everything. The Architect was gone. Daddy wasn't around to protect him. The Frenchman had everything once, and he lost it all. So who's to say that the same thing didn't happen to the Trainman? The program can create simulations. He must have been as powerful and influential as the Merovingian in the past. He just lost everything when the Architect arrived. But then if the Trainman was the first Architect, what were his simulations like? And why did they fail? Well, let's look at Mobile Ave. This simulation is small, and there is no concept of time in it. Those who end up inside it can quickly perceive that something is not right with the place. And here's a disturbing notion. Maybe the machines first imprisoned the humans in spaces like Mobile Ave. Each human had their own small independent space to live in. Of course, no human would have ever been happy living in simulations like those. So the Architect came and replaced the Trainman, who then subsequently became an exile. The new Architect created a vast shared world where all humans can be trapped in it together. The Trainman is another underutilized character that we really hope to see make a return in some form. He also still has much to contribute to this franchise. The theory that the Trainman was once an Architect is one of our favorite theories. We love this character so much that we made a Halloween special about the Trainman years ago. In it, we fleshed out the character a bit more, making him more intimidating and showing what happens to a civilian who makes fun of him.
I think I remember you. Through me, you go into a city of weeping. Through me, you go into eternal pain. Through me, you go amongst the lost people. Who are you? Here, I am God. Nice watch.
We'll leave a link to this video in the description. But do you agree? Was the Trainman the first Architect of the Matrix? Will he return in Matrix 5? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.